what we're doing today is we're going to change out our water pump. This is the brand new camper we bought, and the water pump just never worked. We chased a few of the wires, checked the connections, and it still didn't work. So just due to the limited time we had to prep before we go on a week's vacation in our camper, I chose to go ahead and order a new pump, and we're going to replace that. Ordered the same style pump from Amazon. Of course, it got here within a couple days. This is the new pump. As you can tell, they look exactly the same. And what we need to do is, I believe we got the fittings in here, some instructions. We do have a inline filter here that we're going to, you just pull this up, or push it down rather, one or the other. There you go, pull it up, and that pulls straight out. We're going to save this pump and test it further and see if it was a pump or something else. Not 100% sure that the pump is the problem yet, so we'll just set this pump out of the way. This actually on the back has a flow direction. Flow direction arrow as well at the top of the pump. So knowing the water has to flow in here, out here, this is the flow direction of the pump. What we'll do is, these have little caps in it. Go ahead and, in preparation getting this ready, it's a whole lot easier to do it out here than it is inside the location that it's in. Just snaps in and locks, doesn't come out. This is supposed to be a simple install. There's only 2 wires, positive and a negative. I know I had somebody tell me to check the ground, check the ground. These pumps don't have a ground per se to check, so I'm gonna check it when I get down to the fuse block. That's gonna be one of my other areas that I test if this doesn't work. So again, we'll have to remove the cap here, put that away. Luckily for us, as you can see in the light, each one of our supply lines have one of these connectors on it, and the other supply line is right here. You can see it. So that goes into the pump from the tank, and then the blue is actually the system of the camper itself. So the pump just simply mounts in here. It is kind of a hard to get area, and I'll see if I can get the camera set up so we can record that as well. Give me a minute. Okay, I'm not so sure how much you can see down here. A bunch of stuff in the way, but let's see. This unit simply screws into here like that, and that's what we're going to do at this time. Now, the location of your water pump, depending on your camper manufacturer, may be in a totally different location. Got that first screw in there, just kind of hold it in place, and then we'll work from there. Okay, it's up there, it's mounted. Temporary, we got to still, there's a couple screws on the opposing side. It's going to get a little hard to see. You gotta get the screws on that side. That's where I'm working in. So literally for me to get back into that area, I have to go up to my waist here. And I don't know if you watched some of our videos, but I'm not a small guy, so this will take an effort. I'm not sure how much of this you can actually see on camera, but I pretty much fill up this whole hole with my body, and trying to get these rubber grommets to adjust to the existing hole locations. The vibration bushings, which are also the mounting, are in a grooved area that slides. I'm not sure how well they slide, but it appears I at least got them started. Let's see. That wire. That wire. Get these out of the way so I can bring this down. And now that ready to mount. Okay. You can see, hopefully, with a flashlight, that I got the screw started. I'm going to use the drill with a nut driver set and see if we can tighten this up, make sure it works with this part. And then it's just hooking up the wires, and I'll show you what I did with that in a minute. As I come out of the hole, I'm beginning to realize that my back is getting wet. It's starting to pour down rain here. And, all right. So let me kind of show you what we've done. We've tightened the rubber grommets down, and now we have the red and the black wire coming from the pump. And what we did when we removed the other one, we kind of left it, trimmed the wire a little short so we knew exactly how to wire it back. And that's what we'll work on next. Okay, before I hook up the wires down here, I wanted to show you this up here. Early in the process of having the camper, we kept having or experiencing a dead battery. Basically, the radio inside doesn't have a full off switch, so that's our off switch from the batteries. But I just moved the camper, so one of the things to think about, and yes, it is raining, so you want to mess with electricity even less when it's raining. But one of the things to think about is the fact that I have it hooked to the truck. That's still offering some electricity. I know I don't have it hooked to the house. So my recommendation would be to unhook that wire. We've turned off the batteries using this switch here. So now we are getting ready to hook up the wires to there. So all right, this is not my favorite way of doing this. Basically, I don't have a automobile or a 12-volt system wire tie that I could use, and also realizing that I'm probably going to have to take this back apart if I'm chasing other wiring issues. But for now, I'm just going to use these household twist-ons to make up the connections, especially where I got 3 wires coming together. Got one more over here, so let's put these together. Okay, so the orange went with the red, and we know that because we had an orange, we saved the old wire. Orange went to the red, and on the old set, the 2 whites went with the black. So a little trick, I always recommend that you don't cut everything open and then say, okay, well, I'll remember it, because I'm the last person who would ever remember. Okay, what we have now is we got to get up here. Let's see if I can. So you get it right here, and
Daddy,
that's hooked.
Guess what I said? Guess what I saw? I saw a bird with a red head. It was pecking at the trees.
Okay.
That was my woodpecker.
That was your woodpecker?
Yeah.
Okay.
I found it.
So up here,
Here.
not sure how much of this you're going to be able to see, but this is just a push in and latch position. Kind of show you what I did down here was I took the ground wire, because I was told by somebody else to chase the ground and make sure that it was hooked up. I took the ground wire and actually ran a heavier cable to it, to the undercarriage of the camper, and fastened it to that just to see, and that didn't seem to have any effect to it working or initiating the water pump at all. So that's why we just replaced the new water pump. Now we're going to have to clean that up right quick before we try this out. Much like the other, the red and the black, for right now we're just going to get this ground, make it up with, twist it up tight, and then make it up with a household wire nut.
Bigger than Riley's bike.
Okay. So to make sure that this works, we can now carefully, because we've unfastened, this is not mounted to the wall. There we go. All right, we hear the pump is working. Okay. See, I can't get, there we go. We have light. And yes, it is working. It cut off. So now that we know that it works, we'll reach over here, turn the power switch off, and when it's just running the residual pressure of the water, you'll see that it's kind of tapering back. So we got the pump working. We got a few other things we got to get ready for. We're actually fixing to take the camper on a week's vacation there at the beach, and we look forward to bringing you along for that as well, and that'll be in some future videos. So we hope you enjoyed this little how-to session. It really only took physical time to do, maybe 15 minutes. I had to go find some wire nuts and some other things, some tools. But if you got all the tools readily available, 15 minutes and you could be done and replace your water pump. I'm gonna keep that the old water pump. Like I said, we did buy our camper brand new. We may try to see if we can use that pump in another method here at the house, and some rainwater collection and moving some rainwater. So.
My foot ate the glove.
I know, catch it with your glove, not your foot.